And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday. Tell them to pump it up. They will save you 15% on your order, or you can go to the app and they will deliver pretty much anywhere in the 275 loop right to your front door. All right, Aaron. It's I was a bad employee today. It's Talkin Tuesday. I did not get a chance to go to the press conference. I did not, unfortunately, get a chance to watch the press conference. So we will get to you for that here in a second. There were two press conferences today. One of them with John Cunningham and B. Fox. That is to launch the Let's Reign campaign, REIGN. It's a call for 7,000 donors to donate $350 by July 1st, 2023. That is the day that the Bearcats officially join the Big 12.
So Make It Rain didn't make the cut?
No, I don't know how well that would have went over. In order to join, in order to join, you go to cincyreigns.org, and the Let's Reign campaign is what you're looking for. I know a lot of our members have signed up for that. Look, I like this a lot better than just like, hey, give us some money, because you've got a target donation. You've got a target number of people you're trying to get donate. People like a call to action. So I think this is really smart.
Are they going to be tracking this on Twitter or on their website, where you can see how much has been donated, where you can see how much they still need to go?
I haven't seen anything like that yet. And I do think that's something that needs to be suggested, because I think the more you get the ball rolling down the hill,
right.
And people know where it stands, the more likely you are to have more people jump in.
It's the same as when people do like a GoFundMe or something like that. I feel like people are more apropos to go ahead and make that donation when they see like, oh, they're getting close. Well, maybe I can't do 350 right now, but I can do 50 and get it that much closer, or something along that line. I think that would
I don't think that's how it works, though. I think they want 7,000 at 350. Now they'll take, of course, all of your donations, but for this specific campaign,
okay,
they want 7,000 people to donate the 350.
And even still, if that's the case, then I still think you can make some waves where we're this close. Let's get there, or like some type of public notification, I guess.
Call to action. Need a call to action that is trackable, right? Trackable, I guess would be the right word. Traceable, trackable, whatever.
Represented.
Yeah. They did announce they have their first 14 student athletes, one from each program. They've signed to NIL deals. It's part of the First Class initiative. The students will provide marketing support and make event appearances on behalf of the collective. Abby Walker, volleyball; Jillian Hayes, women's basketball; Riley Penn, track and field; cross country; Brooke Patterson, women's golf; Cameron Callahan, women's lacrosse; Ashley Barron, women's soccer; Jolie Cry. If I mess your name up, I'm sorry. Women's swimming and diving; Elizabeth Pendergrast, tennis; Griffin Hughes, baseball; Dante Corleone, football; Ty Gingrich, men's golf; Dan Skillings, men's basketball; Hunter Gubeno, swimming and diving; and Corbin
swimming names. Track. Swimming names sending you into a spin cycle.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm sorry. I screwed up your name, a couple of you, and I apologize. Maybe one day Aaron will have you on his own show or something. We'll make it up to you.
Potentially. Any surprise as to the main sports that we cover here in these airwaves, being football and basketball? Any surprise that it's Dante Corleone and Dan Skillings as the first faces of this initiative?
No, you go with the younger guys. I think it's smart. Guys are going to have, going forward, some staying power in the market as, kind of advertising blocks, face of the franchise type things. I think it's smart to go with a little bit of the younger flavor.
I think that it also plays into, especially on these two rosters specifically. Vic is ineligible as he is from overseas, and Dan, you kind of solidify him coming back and not entering the transfer portal with that move there.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever really an issue, but I know people worry about all kinds of things.
I don't either, but I think that still is a card that you can play going forward, even if it didn't have to do necessarily with this year specifically. But also with Dante, just him being a hometown hero and being able to talk to the other people around with the coaching change and everything that entailed with that, this just kind of bolsters, hey, we appreciate how much you made your voice heard, and just keep on doing your damn thing. You number one PFF ranked player in the country.
Right. So yeah, CincyReigns.org. It's the Let It Rain campaign. 7,000 donors, $350 each is what they are aiming for. Talk about Talkin, Wes Miller edition. Like I said, I didn't have time to see it today. It was a very busy day for us, but you did, so fill us in.
The first thing you got to was that they're playing in the NIT, and the NIT, while it doesn't hold the same clout as the NCAA tournament, you're still playing for a championship. You still have the right to hang a banner in the rafters, which I know some fans will take issue with if that is a thing that happens. But at the end of the day, I don't know why people are so upset about celebrating wins. But he did mention that it's something that you can hang in the rafters if that is something that happens. He said that the team wanted to keep playing. Obviously, you had some disappointment in that they didn't make the NCAA tournament. But that said, I think they're also excited about the opportunity to continue to play, to get a home game, which you don't get in the NCAA tournament. I think that he wasn't allowed to say that there's a little bit of disappointment that if they do win, that they can't have a second game. But I feel like you could almost hear it. He said you can only control your controllables, and kind of left it at that. But
yeah, I was mistaken on that, by the way. I thought it was when I heard it was like construction or what, like work related. I thought it was because of the demolition of the old practice facility, but apparently they are making upgrades to the basketball flooring before graduation.
Can't imagine if that has anything to do with the logo that's on the court. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Just saying.
But that all said, I think that he's excited to be able to keep playing. He does say that it's a long-held, respected tournament, and there's no shame in winning. He did mention that Landers played on Memphis, that used the NIT to pretty much launch the last two NCAA appearances that they've had. He also mentioned that other schools have done the same thing. I can't recall which other one he mentioned specifically off the top of my head, but just that they can use this to proceed. I mean, say you take the whole thing down, and you can use that to really launch into next season on a super high, especially for these young guys, and continue to develop for guys like Kalu, guys like Dave, who plan on playing at the next level, so they can continue to put tape together to show who it is they are and what they're made of. Opportunity for some of the young guys to continue to develop this season, as opposed to having to wait into your off season to get into those regimens and what have you. So I think they're just excited to keep playing basketball is what the main theme was through all of this.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a couple people yesterday, and the general consensus I got was that everybody was excited to be there, excited to get going and start the journey of the NIT. So yeah, that's kind of the general consensus is these guys like playing together. They like the team. They don't want to see that just come to a halt yet. So we'll see. It's interesting because, as we talked about last night, this is a young Virginia Tech team, so they're going to be pretty excited, I think, as well to get here and get cracking. I guess the one thing that stands out, like we talked about, is not a very good road team.
And I guess Coach really hit on that. They are a really good catch and shoot team. Like they have a lot of guys who are dangerous shooters. And I mean, honestly, in my opinion, you can take this for what it's worth, but I think that if Cincinnati allows them to get hot early, it's going to be an uphill battle for this team.
Yeah, and I talked about that last night. You can't let a jump shooting team get rhythm early.
No.
Because then they start hitting the tough ones. Then they don't care if you're trying to run them off the line. They're like, look, I'm throwing this thing in the ocean right now.
You also have to make sure they don't catch that second run in the second half where maybe you're in the same type situation where they get hot after you were up, 12-15, and all of a sudden that 12-15 has just turned into 8, and then it turned into 4, and now you're scrambling, what the hell do we do to stop this team from hitting everything? But back to what he was talking about on the presser, just mentioned a couple guys, and it happened to be the same guys that Chris Arvin had mentioned last night on the BVP, except Chris Arvin gave a much better breakdown as he was with us for, I don't know, I guess about 30, 40 minutes as opposed
about
to
a half hour, a little over a half hour.
Yeah. As opposed to the 15 minutes Coach had today. He was also asked about the transfer portal, and he basically said that he has not contacted anybody, doesn't know where the reports on Twitter are coming from. He hasn't opened Twitter in 5 months. I take it all as smoke and mirrors, because why would he talk about who he's contacted, who he hasn't? First off,
I don't think he's contacted anybody.
Well, sure, maybe he hasn't, but he's got a whole staff of a lot of people. But I'm sure there's some things.
Plausible deniability. And not that once they're in the portal, you can talk to them.
Well, I just mean
situation.
He can't talk about it. He can't talk about right. But I think that there's probably plenty of smoke to the players that they've reached out and contacted. I don't know why those would be false reports. And we'll see where it goes. He did say he wants all of his guys back. He said he's on record as saying he wants all of his guys back. And that's not going to change because A, there's still more basketball to play. Why would you say you don't want guys back? That doesn't make any sense. And B, he's still going to have these tough conversations, but he's still being asked the same questions that he's going to continue to be asked until guys are either on this roster for sure or entering the transfer portal, which isn't going to happen until the season is over.
Right.
I get a little annoyed when we're still talking about this. He's not going to change his answers.
No.
It's just a waste of a question.
Sorry, I was Rutgers, number 1 seed Rutgers in the NIT, headed to overtime with Hofstra, and Hofstra ties it up with 2.3 seconds left. Rutgers throws a length of the court pass that is going out of bounds, which means with nobody touching it, which means Hofstra would have got the ball under their own basket all the way back on the other end with 2.3 seconds left. And the Hofstra point guard caught it like this. Like
off his fingertips.
No, he caught it and threw a full length of the court pass or shot. When if he just let it go, the clock never would have started because nobody touched it. The ball would have went out of bounds, and they would have had 2.3 seconds to get a shot off. But,
situational awareness at its finest.
But they're going into overtime, tied at 74. So
could be implications for Cincinnati should they win. So, but that's about all I got out of the presser.
Okay, good stuff. I didn't get anything because I didn't see it. I was I think at that point in time, right about then, Kelly was having a tube removed from her nose and being told she was allowed to drink liquids again for the first time in 30 hours. So she was having me go down to the hospital cafeteria to get her a high C pink lemonade fountain drink. I'm
sure she wished you were heading to the local liquor store, but unfortunately that wasn't an option.
Well, she acted like it was the greatest thing she had ever drank in her entire life.
Sometimes it's the small things, man.
So they had told her, like, you're allowed to have clear liquids. And she had already told me that, like, when I'm allowed to drink, you're going to get me one of those fountain pink lemonades. So I was like, does pink lemonade count as a clear drink? And Kelly gave the nurse the, like, it better. And the nurse like, yeah, that should be fine. I don't see any problem with that. And she gave me the look like,
now
go.
You should have left 2 minutes ago.
I was making sure pink lemonade was allowed. Oh, it was funny. It was funny. But all right, that wraps it up. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. We'll see you late tomorrow night. 9:00 tip-off, Bearcats, Hokies, Fifth Third Arena. One last home game. And we'll see where it goes from there. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!